Hello, everyone. Welcome to IT Tech Talk. I'm your host, Joel Ward, and with me again is Justin Simpson. Justin, you're back. Thanks for coming back on.
Back again, man. It seems like we were just here, but dude, we're gonna have some more fun chatting today.
Yes. And today is different. It's something different we haven't tried. We've mainly been talking about space. We are going to be talking about Forex and crypto, which is something I've talked about crypto on a previous show, but it was just me talking about, like ranting and raving about certain crypto prices. So now we actually have a second perspective on crypto. So and something that I've been interested in learning more about, which is Forex. So we should have an interesting discussion today. It might not run long, so anybody listening, if this doesn't run that long, it's just because we're giving a basic overview. It might be one of our shorter episodes, so just stay tuned. It's probably one of your better episodes because you get to learn some about crypto. And if you already know about crypto, well, all right. But this is more geared towards people who I know in my friends list who are still learning about crypto and would like to know more about probably Forex, because even I am still interested in learning more about Forex. So Justin, start us off with Forex.
Let's talk a little bit about Forex then. So Forex is basically a shortened version of foreign exchange. And it's a type of investing that honestly not too many people know about, but it's quite lucrative. It can be. Again, with all investing, there's no guarantee. Past profits don't guarantee future performance. No one has a crystal ball and can say exactly what's going to happen, not me. But what I have found is that market's pretty interesting. So basically, if you were ever to travel, let's say, Joel, you take your wife, your family, and you head down to Mexico. And you get there, obviously, in Mexico, they don't use U.S. dollars. They use pesos. So you would arrive there and you would exchange, let's say, 100 U.S. dollars for the equivalent of pesos. And you will notice when you arrive that there is a fluctuation from what the current value is for dollars versus pesos. And it can be that after your week-long vacation, you hit the beach, you have a great time in Cancun, and then you fly back, you re-exchange your pesos for U.S. dollars, and the price may have fluctuated. It might have gone up or it might have gone down. And the whole point of Forex trading is that we capitalize on those minor movements of different currencies pitted against each other. And it's really a bigger market than most people are aware of. So to put this in perspective, the stock market that we are all familiar with, equities, Dow Jones, all that good stuff, generally on any given day, roughly speaking, there's about $20 billion, 20 billion with a B, dollars that runs through that transaction, through trading and all those things, about 20 billion. By comparison, in the Forex market, on a daily transaction, it's anywhere between $6 to $7 trillion, wow. Trillion with a T. So there's a lot more movement that is going on in that market. But it does operate much different than the stock market because it's attached to that country's currency. So whereas with a stock, for example, you'd be looking at what the company is doing, how well the company is doing quarter over quarter. The currency really has to do a lot with how the entire country is doing financially, the innovations there, and as well as the perception of that country as regards to their place in the world, shall we say. But there is all these fluctuations that are going on, and the idea is that we capitalize on those movements. And what it turns out to be is it can be long-term holds, but usually it's pretty short-term investing. Honestly, I've been doing this for about going on 9 months now. Again, knew nothing going into it, Joel, brand new. Got the proper resources, the education and the research, got connected to professional traders, things like that. And I can tell you, going into it, what's neat for me is that a lot of my trades last maybe a day. Sometimes they only last a couple of minutes, depending on how much the market is fluctuating.
Okay. And
that provides a lot of good opportunity if you're not one that wants to hang on to an investment for long term and you want something with potential short-term gains. Forex market becomes a very cool opportunity for you. So that's kind of the general overview of what Forex is. The other kind of cool thing about Forex, and Joel, I feel like I'm rambling, so if you want to cut me off.
I want to interject real quick and ask, is it like, do you day trade Forex? Is that what is basically, are you day trading Forex? Because I feel like someone's going to ask, is it day trading? Is it what? So is it you're day trading Forex to get those gains and losses?
That's correct. And you can hold it longer than that. But the interesting thing is, again, if you want to day trade the stock market, there's a lot of regulations you have to go through. In order to be able to do that. Your account has to have a certain size. And I'll be honest, I'm not even familiar with all those stipulations. I just know they exist. Where you're doing a currency versus currency, it's kind of outside of that realm. It's not like a bad thing. It's just because you're working an international versus another nation. There's potential there for that. So, like I said, a lot of my trades that I prefer, I mean, literally, I prefer them to go for one day, but sometimes they go longer. Very rare that I'll hold one more than a week. And that also gives you a lot of opportunity. So let's say, since you brought that up real quick, let's say that you want to make an investment in the stock market, and you've got so much money to put into it. You might put that investment in, and that's all the free capital that you have, and it might have to sit there for a while. With this, I can put an investment in, potentially short term, get a result that I'm looking for, and then reinvest in something else. So it allows a lot more of a kind of a faster pace of opportunity just for different things to potentially happen. Does that make sense?
Yes. So basically, I'm just blanked for some reason. So basically, you're it's like the stock market. It's basically like the stock market, but you're, instead of trading like stocks, you're trading currency, like
Correct.
Mexican, Italian, all the currencies. Is that what I'm getting?
That's correct.
So
and
it's
there
not,
are some major.
So it's basically you're betting off of someone else's currency versus betting off of like GM or Dollar Shave Club or all those other ones.
Correct, but it's slightly different in the fact that it's a currency pair. So it's a currency versus another currency.
Okay.
So for example, I could have the US dollar versus the euro, and my expectation is that one of those is going to go up in relation to the other. I can also invest in two currencies that aren't my normal currencies. For example, I could do the Japanese yen versus the euro. You still have the ability to do that. The other cool thing that you can do with Forex is that you can sell as well as buy. Sorry, I've got like a hair floating in front of me.
Sorry.
You can sell as well as you can buy, so that means that you can take advantage of dips and still be profitable in selling that currency rather than buying it. And you can, and for our new listeners that you're brand new to this, you can sell a currency that you don't actually own. It's not like I'm hoarding all these different bunches of currencies and then I'm buying and selling them. I'm either buying or selling that particular pair in that moment for that particular trade, and then I move on to another one. So
I interject because there's a question that's just bouncing around my head right now. Is there a max cap of how much you can trade? Like on stocks, there's a max for how many stocks there are to trade. Is there a max on how much currency you're allowed to trade?
I am not aware of that.
Okay.
That being said, I am not generally trading at that higher end. I'm not at that
Well,
place
no,
in my
I just
life.
didn't know if there's like capital caps or something on this. I'm just curious because like I know there's like, if you look at it, there's like market cap on cryptocurrencies. I have the cryptocurrencies up there, and the market cap for Bitcoin is like $748 billion. So like I didn't know if there was a cap for like say the yen or I can't think, or Mexican pesos.
Not to my knowledge, but I won't hold that there might be. But generally, from what I'm saying, I don't really see that because, again, when you're looking like a market cap, it is all tied into the availability of that currency or how much is literally available. Or same thing with the stock market. With this, again, it's more universal in the fact that this is a currency for an entire nation.
Gotcha.
So my quick thought on that would be I don't know if there is, and if there was, I'd expect it to be very high. Based on that. But the cool thing about Forex too, and I wanted to mention this, is that if you put something into the stock market, you have trading hours each day. It's the markets are going to go in the morning, they close in the evening. The cool thing about Forex is that the markets are open 24, 5.5 days a week because there is another country that is up and running when another country is asleep. So that makes very, very cool opportunities. When you look at Forex, there are 4 major sessions, we call them, that happen worldwide. There's the New York session, there's the London session, there's the Tokyo session, and there's the Sydney session. And again, all these are tied to the major markets. Now, obviously, the smaller currencies like a peso or things like that, those are still interjecting, but we look at the majors because they generally drive things. But usually what happens is whenever one of these sessions overlaps with the other is when there's a lot of market movement. So the big one that we capitalize here in the U.S. quite a bit, again, for my daylight working hours, if you will, is from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. So from in the morning until noon. The New York session overlaps with the London session. And when those two markets are open, that means that it's kind of working with or against, and it provides volatility. We like volatility because that allows us a wave to ride up or down and create profitability potentially out of it. So what I would tell people is that I would also say this too. There's a reason a lot of people don't do Forex is because if you don't know what you're doing, as with crypto, you can easily blow money very, very quickly. And so if we have a listener today and you're curious about this, what I would tell you is do your research, get connected to a place that can provide proper education, get connected to profitable traders, things like that. And by all means, that's something I can help you with. I'd be glad to talk to you about that. But don't go in there blindly. Again, that's not financial advice. It's your own money. You do what you want. Just from my perspective, I'd be like,
I feel like we should have a disclaimer. What you do on cryptocurrencies from this or stock market, whatever you do, there is a loss. You will experience loss. I have put money like over $200 in the stock market. I put a couple hundred into cryptocurrencies, and I have lost that and then gained it and lost it. There is no guarantee that you're going to get rich off of Forex, cryptocurrencies, or the stock market. That's the disclaimer.
And we don't guarantee that either.
Yeah, we're not guaranteeing you're going to make it rich off of this because there is. Between me and Justin, I feel like we haven't made. If we were really making it rich off of cryptocurrencies or Forex or the stock market, we would not be sitting here right now.
No, we probably have more upgraded studios by that point, Joel.
I'm in a second bedroom right now,
and I'm in my downstairs office. So.
Yeah,
but I will say this: the fascination that I have with Forex, and we'll get into crypto too, is that it is a skill that's attainable. If you want to learn how you can do it. I think it's something that you can pick up and learn from. And like you were saying, Joel, there is always losses with this. Those losses are part of the learning process. And again, no one's got a crystal ball. No. I can't tell exactly what's going to happen. I don't know when Elon Musk is going to throw out a tweet that sends Bitcoin crashing. Like I don't know when that's going to happen. So having proper risk management, understanding how to trade smartly, understanding the right amount of risk that you want to take, all those things are very important into being successful in whatever investing you kind of do. So always for our listeners, do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing. Get help. It's not, get help, figure out what you're doing, and then have fun with it, and always start small. I will, one more thing, and I'll let you go, Joel. Okay. I will tell our listeners this list too. The cool thing about Forex is just about every broker you work with Forex allows what's called a demo account. Okay. So you can actually open an account with fake money, and you can do real trading with fake money, and then you can learn quickly what's working, what's not. And I tell anyone getting into this, I mean, it's your own money. If you want to go running straight in, you can, but I recommend people to try out a demo. And again, for our listeners now, if this is something you're interested in, $6.6 trillion a day is up and available. That's something you can play around for free too, by the way. It's not going to cost you anything.
So 2 questions are things I want to talk about. So there's a app that one of my buddies has hooked me on that I haven't tried yet, but it's like what you said, that you can demo fake money. It's called Thinkorswim by Ameritrade. And you can demo how much you put into the stock market and demo real-time results on how much money you put in. And I've thought about using that because I'm looking for a new home for my cash that I have lost from Robinhood because I've had issues with Robinhood. I so want to go back because I love that app. Like, it was so great. But my problem is after, and I don't know if we brought this up on the show or if I brought you up afterwards, but they cashed out my accounts, and they can take this down if they want, or block it or whatever, and keep people from listening to this. But they removed my funds from my account and closed out
without your authorization.
Yeah, without my authorization. They sold my stocks that I had remaining left with them, and without my authorization, and put it into my account as like nothing happened, and my balance was just flatlining, and I was like freaking out. I was like, oh, maybe the market's not doing well. And then when I looked, they had sold my stocks against my wishes. And one of the things, I have a guy who I talked to, and he said, because I had another guy that I had I had through American funds. And one day I checked my account, and his brokerage had sold my stuff against my wishes without my authorization. And I never sued him or did anything, but I actually had legal rights too, because he had no legal rights without my permission selling. Apparently, from what I gather from another financial guy, without your permission, they have no authorization to sell that stuff, is what I'm gathering. If you don't clear that and you don't make that trade, they can't authorize it, because that's like selling your property without your permission, is what I was gathering. My second thing is Forex have an app? Because I know a lot of people who listen to this are in an age range where they like apps. Is there an app where you can trade Forex on that's on the App Store or Google Store?
So just about every, and I don't want to go too deep here, I don't want to confuse people, but no matter what brokerage you use, so you have a brokerage that actually executes whatever trade you want. Most brokerage come down to one app that they all are connected to, where you actually tell them to execute the trades, and that is called MetaTrader 4. MetaTrader 4 or MT4. There's a newer version called MT5, but most people I know use MetaTrader 4. And that app is kind of like a, like I said, it's a universal app that you can connect your own brokerage to, including a demo account that you can get through that app, or you can get a demo account through your brokerage and attach it to this app. But most people trade through that app. And again, that app is only giving an instruction to your brokerage to take action on your behalf.
Okay.
But that app works very well, and you can pull it up and you can see it. I mean, you can see the market fluctuating. For those people that are,
is that what you use to trade on? Just asking.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's right. So, kind of for people that have the video of this, you can kind of see the numbers fluctuating, the market going up and down, and
I see it. Yeah.
That's what a lot of people will use for this. There's also a desktop version, but again, the beauty of this is, I can take a trade anytime I want. I can take it on my lunch break. I can take it whenever on my phone, and I can place a trade in seconds. And I do like that ability. But I want to start shifting gears a little bit, Joel, because I know we want to talk about crypto as well. And the best way I can say this is with foreign exchange, Forex, I'm trading a currency versus a currency, a literal paper currency versus a currency. The crypto market is exactly the same way, except it's all digital assets. So you can take advantage of certain cryptos versus another crypto because, again, the gains might be different versus a hard currency instead. So there is exchanges where you can do that, as well as what we are all familiar with probably by this point, the way it's been, the amount of attention it's gotten, of literally just holding currencies, holding crypto, and then, riding it out and hoping that things go well. Now, Joe, I know you had a couple of thoughts about what's going on with crypto, so I'm going to toss it back to you for a second.
Yes, so there's so much to talk about with this. I've been watching a lot lately, and one of the ones, and I've been so frustrated. I know we talked about this pre-show. I'm so frustrated that I thought Bitcoin was a joke because, there was so much money to be had in Bitcoin, and if I had reserved my spot in the beginning, I would have probably been not sitting here right now. I probably would have been sitting here talking to you, but it would have been a nicer studio. It would have been with maybe not a nicer car, maybe not a huge house, but it would have been with a medium house, with new computers, new stuff. But and I still would have worked. I mean, I would never have not worked. I probably would have had a better business model at that point. But no, what my thing I'm trying to get at is digital currency. I've talked about it so much before. Bitcoin, Dogecoin. I'm looking at Ethereum. All that stuff is just so obtainable. And I've talked about how digital currency is the new currency and how, we are looking at a future with no banks, no physical buildings. We are looking at a future where everything's done digitally. I foresee cash, and I know people have gotten on my case about this and said, you're wrong. They'll never go away. Cash is great. Printing it is expensive. People don't understand how much it costs to print money. But if we were to just do digital currency, if not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, not Ripple, not whatever, I'm talking if the U.S. currency was to switch to a digital currency where it was just all digital, everybody's U.S. dollar was digital, and you could, instead of having to pull cash out to pay someone, you could just tap your phone to something else. They do, I think it's actually China, it's either China or somewhere in Europe where everything is digital. There's not a single paper trail. It's all digital. And I think that's where we're heading, and I want to see us head that way because I, for one, don't like cash. You handed somebody some paper money that could have been on someone's toilet for the longest time. Who knows? It's but you trade digital currency, trade digital dollars. Like, for example, okay, I want to get into this real quick and say something. So every time you pay with PayPal, you pay a friend, you pay for a subscription, you pay for whatever, you're paying with digital money, which people don't understand that. It may be US dollars, it may be US currency, but it's in a digital form. You have paid somebody a digital currency because it's on your phone, it's on an app, it's in your bank, and you just traded it digitally. That's a digital currency. Now, you give someone cash, that's just giving them cash. It's not digital. But you trade, say, you buy stocks, you bought that stock with a digital currency. That's, maybe I'm wrong about seeing it that way, but every time I buy something using my credit card or debit card and that money's in that bank account online, it's online, I consider that digital currency. If I buy something with Bitcoin, it's still the same thing. You're buying it with a digital currency. As long as it's on an app, I consider it a digital currency. As long as it's on an account where you can pull from digitally or over the web, that's a digital currency to me. Stop me if I'm wrong.
Well, I think you're on the right track with that. I mean, you think about for the past many years, all of our transactions have been done digitally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember when, and this was ages ago, but I remember when you used to write a check by hand, okay, and give it to somebody, that the check actually, the bank would actually collect those and actually send them back to you at the end of the month. Like, you would get your checks back to you that you wrote once they had processed them. And I can remember the change of those going digitally and scanning them in, that people had a fit about that. But there is a lot of, I mean, basically every transaction that I can think of, unless you're handing physical money, it's digitally transacted. Yes, it is backed by physical currency, but you and I both know, Joel, that all the money, like everybody that uses our local bank, if we all went in and said we want our money in cash, they don't have it all. It's not all sitting there.
No.
So a lot of this is like a digital repository. Yes, it's backed somehow, but I think we've been moving towards that. What I will say is that I think there are some dangers with crypto, but I think those are things that we're just going to figure out and learn as we go through this process. But here's the advantage that many people see of this, and this is what has banking systems afraid, is that there's a limited number of people in the world that can get connected to a banking system. Mm-hmm. There is only so many banks, there's so many accessibilities. You think about countries where, countries that are unstable and currency fluctuations are all over the place. There is a problem with that, and it provides a limited market. Mm-hmm. With cryptocurrency, all of a sudden, anybody who has one of these, and I'm holding a phone up, anybody has a phone, you've got a wallet in your hand. You have the ability to hold currency of a digital form, buy, share, spend. It's incredible, and that has a lot of lucrative benefit to it.
I'm actually watching this show, and if you don't mind some language and some vulgarities, Startup on Netflix is about this girl who creates this digital currency, and she's trying to launch it, and she's trying to make it, and then ends up getting wrapped up in the cartel and stuff. And it's fascinating because you think about it, all these digital currencies have had to start out by coding, tons of market research, tons of development and stuff. So you think about it, Bitcoin started on servers. Those servers had to be worked on, had to be coded, all that stuff. This currency didn't just start by itself. It didn't just exist. Somebody coded that. And when I'm watching the show, and it's so fascinating because it's like, I've looked it up and some of the stuff is true. It's not like a true show. It's not like a true story, but it's true.
But the aspects of how it works.
Yeah, the aspects are how, because you think about it, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, they're all off of, and I don't know, I would love to tour a facility where this all works, but Bitcoin, Dogecoin, all stuff is all running off of processors. It's all digitally made. And you think about it, like you were just saying, whenever we make a transaction, it's coming from a digital reserve, not from a cash reserve. It's coming from a digital reserve somewhere in the world. And what people don't realize is if we were, like you said, we were to go to the bank today and everybody went at the same time and wanted to withdraw all their money in cash. You can't do that. Yeah, good luck getting, say you have like $40,000, good luck getting that in cash. Now, if you were to get a $40,000, now here's the thing, $40,000 cashier's check or official check in $40,000, they would digitally transact that into another account and then put it in paper, and you would have that. But you wouldn't be able to. You couldn't spend it like little by little. You would have that one. You would have that one thing. But good luck getting like $40,000 in cash, because all these movies make it look like it's so easy. Cash is not as easy to obtain like that as you think. Like, you can't just get $2 million in cash. Now, I was actually talking to the bank the other day because I had some transactions I had to make because of my business. And you can make a deposit up to, I don't even know. It's like, I think you can make up to like 50 million or more in deposits. Now, if you were to withdraw money, that's where it gets tricky. You can only withdraw, I think my bank said like $5,000 each day. I think that's what it is at my bank. And so it's kind of confusing because you can only take a max withdrawal out, but you can maximize your deposit power. Say you got a $5 million check, boom, you can deposit that. That's instantly in your account whenever it becomes available. You can't withdraw that $5 million. You are going to have to take a couple days to withdraw that. Now, I think if you were to get an official check, like, and ask that I need to write this check to somebody, you can get that money written to somebody. But you can't withdraw it to yourself in $5 million. That is not possible. Even if you were to go to multiple banks, I don't think it's possible.
Right. And of course, the banking system is very glad to take your money. And not to go back to Forex, but the biggest players in the Forex market is not private individuals or businesses, it's banks. That's where banks are putting your money, is into the Forex market. Instead of you getting your 0.02%, they're making a ton of profit very quickly off of it. But back to crypto, like I said, there are all these potential pitfalls with our banking system, and crypto does offer a solution. And even beyond that, the way that crypto functions, it does have benefits because the networks they are creating actually do other things beyond financial means. Mm-hmm. So like if you do your research on Ethereum and Ethereum 2.0, there is speculation that that is going to be the next housing of our internet, like a decentralized internet. So there's a lot of things that are happening on these blockchains of these networks. And again, as those servers and as individuals are utilizing their equipment, that is how people are mining the Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever it might be, is by allowing them to use their raw computer power for some of those transactions. So I think it's very, very interesting. The one thing that we do see with crypto right now, and again, we've seen it especially this week, unlike a currency that's attached to a nation where I can look at how the nation is doing or the profitability of a nation, a lot of cryptocurrencies, while there is some demand mechanism in there, a lot of it is pure perception of what people view that to be valuable or not. And this week, and if you're watching this in real time, or listening to this in real time, I should say, like Elon Musk put out a tweet talking about how a few months ago Tesla was going to take Bitcoin payments, and they decided to change that and decide they're not going to take Bitcoin payments, citing that the carbon footprint, that there's so much power that's being consumed to mine Bitcoin and take care of the transactions. And when they did that, Bitcoin lost 25%, almost down to 50% of its value very, very quickly. We're talking Bitcoin was running almost 60K a coin, and it dipped down to 28K a coin for a hot second. Yeah. And that presents the volatility of this. So this is what I would say to our listeners and our viewers. If you're listening to this and interested in crypto, maybe you start to dabble in a little bit. As always, any type of investing that you do, be willing that money is going to be lost forever. Don't ever invest more than you're willing to lose, because you never know how things are going to go. That being said, when you hold crypto, you have to ride that wave. There are other technologies that are available through software. So, for example, I use some AI-powered software that actually is programmed for crypto transactions that actually watches the wave, if you will. So when this whole thing tanked over the weekend, I didn't have to ride that wave down. In fact, it was my software took care of it and actually capitalized on that. So whenever everybody was like, my account value is dropping, I'm like, oh, my account value is going up. So like there are things you can do to kind of work with that. The other thing I would say out there too is that there is always the possibility that the currency that we are currently using in our nation may lose its value one day. And that's why I see the advantage of having a diversified portfolio, particularly with the traction that crypto is getting. And this is not financial advice; it's just my opinion. What if one day like the mainline world decides this is the way to go, and all of a sudden our dollars don't carry the same dollar value. That could happen. And that's why I think it's important to have at least some kind of diversity into that with whatever you're willing to put in. And I like to use this example. Joel, do you watch Big Bang Theory at all? Maybe our listeners do. Or...
They probably do. I have not dabbled in it. I do want to catch up on it. I want to get watching it because it's actually a nerdy show, and I like nerdy things.
Yeah, it resonates well with me because I do think I have a little bit of that nerdy streak in me. But one topic that comes up consistently in Big Bang Theory, and if you've watched it, you'll know this, is what they call Schrodinger's Cat. And it's this theory that came out by this guy named Schrodinger that said if you put, sorry, it's kind of gross, but just roll me for a second. If you put a cat in a box and leave it be, you don't know if the cat is necessarily alive or dead until you reopen the box. It's in like this state of flux because you don't have information to know what's going on. You don't know if it's alive or if it's dying until you re-examine it at the end. I like to think that a lot of time with my investments, be it Forex or crypto, that money, first off, was money that I agreed was I was willing to put in at a loss, number one. But when it's in there and it's fluctuating up and down, I haven't lost anything, nor have I gained anything until the time I decide to end that investment. And so that's why I kind of think instead of Schrodinger's cat, I think about Schrodinger's investment, if you will, if I can coin that and coin like crypto. But like just the idea that you just have to kind of have a proper mentality with this. And you can get really stressed out about this too. And if you're somebody that is thinking about this and you're like glued to the account, watching the numbers, and it's really stressful for you, this might not be a good avenue for you. Okay. But I do think there's a lot of potential here. And I think it's only going to grow in the next coming years. One thing, too, is that right now, Bitcoin obviously is kind of leading the charge as the crypto above all other cryptos, and it's kind of pulling the other ones along with it.
And actually, I wanted to share the screen if I can. I'm trying something new today, guys. So if you're listening in and you're listening and you can't see this, please go check out the YouTube video. I'm going to try and share the screen of the crypto that I want to see if we can get. All right, so can everybody see that? I don't know if Justin, can you see that?
Yes, I can.
So right now I'm watching in live time on the Binance website. Bitcoin is at 40,790. Well, they just fluctuated. It's always fluctuating. Now, we just talked about, and I really hope this shows up on the video. I really want to make sure this shows up in the video. What we've been seeing with Bitcoin, like you said, Elon Musk tweeted something, and it just fluctuated. It went up to I think 50,000, and when he changed that thing, it dropped. What do you say, 25%?
Yeah, almost down to 50%. Like I said, we dropped down to 28K a coin a couple days ago, which was crazy low. It's back up to 40 now.
Yeah, and like right now, it is just constantly fluctuating. And that's the thing. It's it's leading the charge, as it were, at $40,000. Other cryptocurrencies aren't even that high at this point. Bitcoin has led the charge for the longest time. There's a couple currencies which I'm watching because I'm waiting to see what their Ethereum, what's the other one? Dogecoin. I'm waiting to see what happens with them, and I maybe need to get on the ground floor with Dogecoin and buy a couple of those, because if it takes off and it becomes something here, I'm going to change back the screen real quick. But if I buy say $100 worth of Dogecoin, and that 40 cents becomes $50 or $100, I made a profit. And I didn't do that with Bitcoin, and I should have. And I'm harping on this again. I should have done it. And, I always thought it was a joke. And here we are. There's people who have made, I think, almost close to $1 billion on Bitcoin because of how much they invested. They were like, I believe in this. This is the future. And I thought it was a joke because I'm like, the future. I was like, yeah, whatever. And here we are. And Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other cryptocurrencies are taking over the market. And we're seeing a fluctuational change towards digital currency. And now I'm pushing digital currency as a thing on the podcast in my daily routine. And it's like people are like, wait, for a while there you didn't even like digital currency. I'm like, yeah, but now I'm backing it. I think that's a good thing, and I think we should focus on it. So I hate to cut us off, but you finish your sentence, but we are past the time. We're actually going on to 40 minutes.
I can't believe it went that long. I thought it was going to be a short one.
No,
so
let me short.
Let me put one finishing thought on this real quick, and then we can call it done. Bitcoin is the major player in the market. It pulls all the other coins with it. our listeners, Bitcoin, there is a depository, if you will. There's a block of Bitcoin that can be mined once every 4 years. And it just so happens that it coincides with the U.S. presidential cycle. Not sure if that was on purpose or not, but it's easy to remember nonetheless.
Conspiracy theorists
The
hit
unique
the box.
the unique thing of this is that each 4-year cycle, the next block of available Bitcoin to be mined is half of what it was previously. And as I'm looking at the markets right now, you're seeing mainline acceptance of Bitcoin and major cryptos. And again, Bitcoin's the leader, so this is why I kind of look at this. If in the next several years it becomes more accepted, which I think it will, means the demand will increase. And then at the next year, at the next 4-year cycle, half it's available. The demand is even higher because half it's available. What that means is not only could the price skyrocket, but everything else, all these small coins, the altcoins, the other ones I'm going to call junk coins, they could potentially go with it as well. So do your research. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, but be willing to take a risk. And Joel, you said before, we wish we had done something with this for Bitcoin. I remember looking at Bitcoin and saying this seemed kind of shady, because it was different.
Yeah.
And I think there's enough here now to say that this is a different that's worthwhile with proper risk management. So dive in, learn some more. And again, I'll say, guys, I said, this is what I do. If this is something I can help you with, feel free to reach out. I know Joel will have my contact info. And
if anybody, reach out to me and I will give you Justin's information. And again, we're going to throw this disclaimer. I'm going to throw this disclaimer out there. You will lose something. Do not put, like Justin said, do not put more in than you're willing to lose, because if the market were to crash tomorrow, Bitcoin were Elon Musk, I can't speak names today. Elon Musk were to tweet Bitcoin sucks, and then Bitcoin tanks to like $50 and you lose everything. Look, you if you're willing to lose that, that's great, but it's always changing. The markets are always changing. It doesn't matter at Bitcoin, or I should say cryptocurrencies, stocks, Forex. If you're willing to lose it, then invest. But investments are a risk. Doesn't matter if retirement or whatever. Investments are a risk. And I would talk to someone, if you have a friend who's knowledgeable, or you just want me to pass you on to Justin, like talk to someone who's knowledgeable, because you don't want to jump into this just thinking you're gonna learn something. So.
And again, I'm not a financial investor. I'm just an enthusiast of this. None of this is financial advice, but definitely enjoy it. This is the season we're in. Have fun with it.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we showed that new screen, and I'm hoping it pops up in edit mode when I'm editing this video. If it doesn't, then the video, you don't check out YouTube. But if it did, please check out the YouTube channel, because I'm going to be sharing the screen more often, especially with certain things that Justin and me talk about, especially with the space. I'll be showing the rockets and stuff, and just so that we can get that's future episodes. Hopefully, if it works this time, we'll use it next time, just to show even maybe if we play a video of the rocket launches and just do tests and stuff. So, but yeah, please tune in to see that in the next time if it works this time. But Justin, thanks again for joining me, and please stay tuned, because Justin's coming back on hopefully here soon again, because there's a lot of space stuff we need to cover again. So please stay tuned. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I'll see you in the next one. And we're done.